Just passing through this cemetery. Maybe something interesting here. Right off the bat, I gotta say, some of these people here are not resting in peace. Let me show you. Horrible traffic right next to the cemetery. That's Maria Andersson. She became the oldest living person in the Nordic countries. Born 1828, died in 1946. So the claimed age is 117 years. Unfortunately, her genes did not survive as she was childless. There in itself a very insignificant chapel, this one built from materials of another chapel that was around 3 kilometers from here in the middle of Helsinki. It was a Russian 1913 vanity project commemorating the 300th anniversary of the Tsarist Romanov dynasty. The Finns didn't like it. One night the building was smeared with tar. It was impossible to get it clean. The tar residue had seeped into the soapstone cladding. The whole building had to be demolished. Now that tarred chapel, it's inside these walls. A memorial for the guys who fought in Germany's Waffen-SS, the Viking division that was mainly fighting in Soviet Ukraine. This memorial is very subtle, not direct and detailed like a similar Waffen-SS volunteer memorial in Estonia. Mannerheim, the most respected military leader in Finland, the Winter War and so on. He's surrounded by his soldiers. You got dead presidents. Maybe this guy is interesting, August Wallin. Everybody knows that Islam's holy city of Mecca is forbidden to non-Muslims. Back in the day, entering was punishable by death. Wallin was one of the first Europeans to visit that city, 1845. As an Orientalist and an Arabian scholar, it was easy for him to blend in. He described the city as dirty, beggars and scammers everywhere. It says, "Praise the Lord" in Arabic. This guy has tags all over the city. Kova ajo. After these men and women in the cemetery, this guy is a flash in the pan. He won't be remembered, but hats off for trying hard. This is a couple of days later. I was there in the cemetery, so you don't have to. Let's walk couple of kilometers into the void. The void meaning this pretty thick young forest without any recognizable landmarks. It's just tree after tree after tree. Okay, not so thick anymore. Look at that. Serendipity, the art of finding what you are not looking for. The rock looking like a loaf of sliced bread. In Jerusalem, there's this so-called Western stone, supposed to be one of the largest building blocks in the world. I'll put it on the screen.
This is the largest one piece of stone discovered in Israel. One piece of stone. From Brian all the way to Daniel, one piece of stone. Amazing. You will be wondering how on earth they move these stones, that they put it one on the top of each other. Listen,
So how deep is it?
we don't know yet even. We have to go through the other side of the wall to know how deep. And do you know what we have on the other side? The Muslims.
Yeah.
So, in summary, they want it to be this huge one-piece block, but they don't really know, is it? It was last spring. I was sitting on a bench in a cemetery from the 1800s. There was this stone fence. I overheard a couple talking about how on earth the workmen were able to move those huge stone blocks 200 years ago. Then I took a closer look. I saw those blocks were only seemingly huge. The fence consisted of stone slabs placed one after another depth-wise. A single slab was about a hand's length deep, not that huge. I'm no expert, just a man observing. We got a lake. I think I'm gonna make camp now, but not by this lake shore. I go inland for a few hundred meters, so not so easy to spot me. Another serendipity, somebody's old camp from long ago. You got a makeshift raised bed. A bit rotten, but good enough for me, no problem. It's gonna be minimalist camping. I'll be sleeping under the stars. There's the Bundeswehr elephant skin and the USGI modular sleeping bags, green patrol bag and the bivvy. And the Bundeswehr ground pad. I'll be using the raised bed. I tried it. It was okay. Let's get some firewood. But not this. It's completely rotten. maybe there, that's fallen. If I continue with this cemetery and dying theme, back in the early 90s I was flying back from Germany. There was this hassle, an older guy died halfway into the flight. I don't know what killed him, a heart attack, brain aneurysm, God's will, who knows. Anyway, a long story short, I volunteered to sit next to this dead guy. A teenager there couldn't take it. You know how it is. Your mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell or hell of heaven. I'm a nice altruistic guy. I'm not afraid of the dead. It's the living that scares me. Anyway, there was of course a blanket covering the dead guy's torso and head. Gnarled hands were visible, and they of course betrayed the agony of the man's death. They say no good deed goes unpunished. That's patently untrue. The airline offered me a voucher for a free flight. In this bag we got something called bulgur, basically cracked wheat. Alone this is pretty bland, but later I'll throw in a tin of beef with with high levels of cholesterol, fat and sodium. This is 15 minutes later. Let's see what our bulgur has to say. I think it's done. The tin of beef into the bath. I was too hasty. We need more water. Not bad looking. All the fat melted off. From now on, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I don't wear a watch and I don't check my time. I think the flow is saying that after this meal, I'm gonna lay down for a while. Good morning. I slept pretty good. Before I went to bed, I heard some owls, and around 5 a.m. the birds woke up and started to sing. A bit early for me, but it is what it is. But now let's see the temp. Is it 13 degrees Celsius? The morning tea is the first order of business with a nice lake view. The walk back to my car is around 2 kilometers. Kind of a, like you saw, kind of a semi-difficult terrain, but mainly just a case of putting one foot in front of the other.